Okay guys, so let's move to question 4.1.5, which is the last question of 4.1. And the question says, use the given scale to determine the actual distance to the nearest kilometer between Uppington and Springbok. Okay, so I'm just quickly going to show you how I would answer this question. Okay guys, I hope you've seen what I went through in order to answer this question. So I'm just quickly going to show you the calculations and also explain how to get the distance. So obviously you've noticed that I measured a distance from Uppington to Springbok, and then from there I used this rope to measure the length from 0 till 133. So the length of this rope is 133 millimeters. So that is the measured distance. So on the map I measured a distance of 133 millimeters. So normally for this type of questions you'll find that maybe they say you'll still get a correct measurement if your measurement ranges within maybe say if it ranges between 130 to 140 millimeters. You can still use centimeters to measure this piece of string. So in my case, I decided to use millimeters to measure this piece of string. So I measured 133 millimeters. So now this is the distance from Uppington to Springbok on the map. So now I want to then determine the actual distance. So the actual distance, it actually means if you were to drive from Uppington to Springbok, that's the kilometers that you travel. So now it's more like I'm converting the measurements from the map to the actual measurements. So now I make use of the scale because they say 1 unit measured on the map, it represents this much. So now I've measured 133 units. So I multiply that by this unit from the scale. So the answer that I get, which is this value in millimeters, is the actual distance or the actual length from Uppington to Springbok in millimeters. So that's the first step. From there, because it was specified that calculate this distance to the nearest kilometers, that's why you then now need to convert it from millimeters to kilometers. Then to convert millimeters to meters, you divide by 1,000. So after dividing the whole of this number by 1,000, this is the value that I get. So this value, it's in meters. Again, I divide it by 1,000 to convert it from meters to kilometers. So this is the final answer that I get in kilometers. So if you were to travel from Uppington to Springbok along the N14, you travel 400 kilometers. So that's how you simply answer question 4.1.5 and you score 4 marks. So you'd actually travel 400 kilometers from Uppington to Springbok along the N14.